Hello, good afternoon everyone. This is Bala Dev Das. I want to make a quick presentation of the most important thing you'll ever see. This is a introduction to the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the culmination of all of the Vedic literatures which have ever been created. They were compiled 5,000 years ago by a great sage, Srila Vyasadeva. He is an empowered incarnation of God who, out of his great supernatural ability, gathered all the oral traditions of Vedic wisdom and brought them into writing. His assistant was Ganesh, the elephant-headed boy who is the son of Lord Shiva. And Ganesh transcribed as Vyasadeva was in mystic yogic meditation and trance, channeling this divine wisdom which is eternal. And Ganesh therefore wrote down in the Sanskrit language this beautiful writings. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is the conclusion of all Vedic wisdom. So the Upanishads, the Puranas, and everything we know of from Vedic literature is all compiled by this one great sage. And after compiling all the Vedic literatures, which were presented for different human beings in different modes of nature, so those in the mode of ignorance, passion, goodness, they all had certain teachings which they could follow to elevate themselves gradually to the higher stage. Well, all of this was not quite satisfying or good enough for Srila Vyasadeva. In the end, he said, I have compiled the Vedas, I have compiled the Mahabharata, which is the great histories of planet Earth and the great kingdoms that have transpired. And yet something is missing. So his guru, Srila Narada Muni, who is known as the Transcendental Spaceman, questioned Vyasadeva and said, you have failed to glorify the sweet pastimes of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore you are not fully satisfied. And so this Srimad Bhagavatam is not only the narrations of Sri Krishna's divine leelas or eternal pastimes and his presence on this planet and the wonderful leelas that he performed with his devotees, but it is a narration of his devotees in different times and places and how they had great realization and glorified that Supreme Being. In this age of Kali Yuga, which we now are deeply 5,000 years entrenched, it is an age of quarrel and hypocrisy. There is great turmoil in every sphere of existence, be it economic, political, religious, social, and great corruption in all these areas. One source of purity that remains on this planet is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a blueprint guidebook of spiritual wisdom for the elevation of the human being into the perfection of liberation. And not just beyond moksha, beyond impersonal liberation, but into a stage of divine devotional love for God, the Bhakti Yoga supreme path. And what I want to present, even though there is just vast amounts of information to cover here, this is a quick little snippet. And this is particularly for my friend James Rink, who has a following of super soldier program people who are quite interested in what is occurring in other dimensions beyond this material physical plane, but throughout the space program, which could include our Space Force. And now that things are in the hands of the good side and we have overcome the dark agenda of the cabal, I feel that it is appropriate time to reveal these divine teachings which parallel a lot of the New Age concepts and are a perfect source reading for us to kind of curb a lot of our speculation and come directly to the wisdom and knowledge that has been presented so that we can truly understand these things. Here's a beautiful picture which I will present later on in the slides. When the planets of the demigods were attacked by the demonic soldiers of Maya Danava, the rulers of those planets appealed to Lord Shiva for protection. "Do not be afraid," Lord Shiva assured the demigods, and then he attacked and killed the demons with a barrage of fiery arrows. But Maya Danava, who was extremely powerful by dint of his mystic yoga practice, brought the demons back to life by dropping them into a nectar-filled well he had created. When the dead bodies of the demons came in touch with the nectar, their bodies became invincible to thunderbolts. Endowed with great strength, they got up like lightning-penetrating clouds. So, in very similar fashion, we hear how super soldiers are placed in tanks of goo, black goo, purple goo, yellow or white goo. James Rink then clarifies with the help of other soldier insights that these goos have different chemical compounds or qualities that invest the human being or whoever's submerged in them to be transformed in different ways. Well, this is direct information about that. Interestingly enough, this great demonic soldier leader, commander, was named Maya Danava. It makes you wonder that the Mayan civilization was not at some point orchestrated, and the engineering behind that may have been the influence of this Maya Danava, and therefore the name Maya has also stuck there. The follow-up plate. Now these are just little snippets from different places in the Bhagavatam, but I want to give you an example of the supernatural knowledge and wisdom here. Maya Danava, the great leader of the demons, prepared 3 invisible residences and gave them to the demons. These dwellings resembled airplanes made of gold, silver, and iron, and they contained uncommon paraphernalia, which enabled the demons to remain invisible. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the demons began to attack the 3 planetary systems. Seeing this great disturbance, the Supreme Lord Krishna, by his own personal potency, equipped Lord Shiva with all the necessary paraphernalia, such as a chariot, a charioteer, a flag, horses, elephants, a bow, a shield, and arrows. When Lord Shiva was fully equipped in this way, he sat down on the chariot with his arrows and bow to fight with the demons. The most powerful Lord Shiva then joined the arrows to his bow, and at noon he set fire to all 3 residences of the demons and thus destroyed them. Again, a wonderful picture to give some concept of the fact that Lord Shiva is the greatest of all demigods. He is empowered beyond belief, far beyond any human capabilities, and his arrows and bow are mystical and full of potency, in which he was able to see through the disguise of cloaked invisibility of the celestial fighting vehicles and destroy them with the power and potency of his mystic weapons. So again, remarkable knowledge, information, all embedded in the Vedas, particularly in this Srimad Bhagavatam. These books are available on my website. Please visit galacticglyphs.com, and we will take this further in another episode by which we will clarify this divine wisdom. Thank you for your time today.